I think a T-top.
Yeah,
Was it T-top or convertible?
T-top.
T-top.
T-top, okay. And was deeply involved in the original formation of this club. He was governor and other officer duties within the club during his time. He went away on April the 5th, 1979 at Waco at the VA hospital due to complications on a job. He was set off a compass because he was filled with shrapnel. And it was an issue he dealt with the rest of his life. Getting back to the point here, this is the first time that we've been honored with members of the Hampton family and friends. And I would like to introduce, if you may come up here, since this particular event started. We've had some of them go away and join Perry. I will give the date of their name, and when they received the Perry Hampton Award. I won't give their passing date, but they are no longer with us. They were all good people. They were all people who met every bit of criteria of the recipient and that Perry exemplified, and all made large contributions to the club. Back in 1979, the first recipient, or back in 1980, was the first Perry Hampton Award that ever existed. And we always backdate 1 year to 79, the 79 recipient who was awarded the Memorial Award in April 1980 was Mike Mitchell. And Mike is no longer with us. The second person who received an award a few years later was a gentleman by the name of Steve Hose. He was a 1981 recipient. He is no longer with us. Another member, a co-recipient of the 1994 award, was Larry Cole. His wife and widow are here with us now. Another in 1995, one of our officers, David Morrow, was the recipient of the Perry Hampton Award in 1995, and is also no longer with us. I would like to ask for just a moment of silence to remember.
So I didn't think much about it, but Sunday afternoon I was over at Stanley Martin's place working on a Rex Corvette I bought. And there's Stanley over there, by the way, and I said, "Hey Stanley, it's about time." I said, "Yeah, I got this thing." He said, "Well, let's go out there." So we went out, and it was there by the gazebo where the statue of Steve Barnes is. But anyway, we got out there, and this guy that seemed to be the ringleader had this disabled vet place. His name was Steve White. He had one arm. And this other guy that seemed to be kind of trying to get the club started was a paraplegic, a guy named Steve Watson. And then there's this other guy named Perry, and he also had disabled vet plates. And I thought, what is this, a club for disabled people or something? But they seem to be great guys, and they have a keg of beer, and they like Corvettes. And I thought, well, I'll give this a try. And then Steve said, well, we're going to go out racing, and he invited us all over to his house. And so the first few weeks was like, well, let's get together on Saturday and figure out where we're going to go. And there was like drag races in Victoria and another autocross down at San Antonio at Brooks Air Force Base. And about the third week, I've been kind of eyeing Perry, and we were sitting in Steve White's, it was after we'd done something on Sunday, and we're sitting in Steve White's living room. And I looked at Perry and I said, well, Perry, all you guys have DV plates. And I said, Steve's got one arm, and Steve over here is a paraplegic. Well, what's your handicap? And he said, oh, I've got a wooden leg. I said, no, you don't. He said, yeah. Then I looked down, he had his Levi's on, I could see the hinge. But I mean, that's just the way he was. He did not let that slow him down. And as a matter of fact, he said, I'd like to challenge you to a foot race. He said, the first person that crosses that line over there wins. And I said, well, I could probably beat you. He said, no, I just take my leg off and throw it. Perry really that would come over and talk to somebody new who came up that was kind of standing there and everybody was talking to their friends. Well, Perry'd go over and bring them into the club. And he was really great. And he was into photography. And he told me, he said, you know, I've taken so many pictures of cars, and after a while they all look the same. So I quit taking pictures of Corvettes. I'm taking pictures of the people. And that's what he had, pictures of the people. And so when Trish and I got married, he was a photographer for our wedding. So, and then when Steve Hose died, Tom mentioned Steve's name, when they were going through all this stuff, somehow he had received Perry's stuff, and so we got the negatives. Anyway, just wanted to share a little bit about what we did.
Thank you.